Welcome everybody to the Genesis Mindset. We're going to get straight into it today. We got another explosive tweet by NineIronCapital. So how about a dose of positivity with everything that's been going on in the ecosystem? I try and switch my mind off to the garbage and I try and just focus on the positives and what silver linings can come out of this. And hey, here is a fantastic tweet by NineIronCapital going over the pMKR and the maker collateralization that's actually happening right now. So first, we're going to cover one of his old tweets here where he's basically referencing something from March the 6th. So today is March the 14th, where he's talking that the maker vault address is the 2199 address. And it's fascinating to see that it has 2.1 billion PUSD in there now on the pmaker side, which is worth $3 million. It's probably changed now because it's gone up, as well as $231 million on the maker side on Ethereum. So he's actually now gone into more detail about this. So the 2199 pmaker vault has added $2 million of PUSDC in the past 8 days. So previously it was 3, now it's a further 2. It seems to be coming from Ethereum via both the Paraswap and Blast bridges. Now get this, crazily, it looks like maker vaults are interacting directly with the pmaker vaults via the Blast bridge. Let that sink in. So in some of the chats that I was in today, Zach pretty much caught my attention with this when he was saying that, hey, NineIronCapital has got an explosive tweet coming out, which pretty much means it's game over. So whether this is game over for the pDAI community, as in like, yep, seal the deal, it's done, we can't say. It's always still speculation. There is never 100% certainty, but really let that sink in. The maker vault is interacting with the pmaker vault. This is really quite phenomenal. So if his evidence is correct, that connection is quite profound, to be honest. So people who were saying that there's no connection, it's starting to seem like there is some kind of a connection there. So very, very interesting to see. Here are the transactions making up some of the $2 million of PUSDC coming across the Paraswap and Blast bridges. It is being controlled from the Ethereum side and moved directly into the 2199 pmaker vault. So he's showing the transactions here. So firstly, what is Blast? So he's telling us what Blast is. So Blast is some kind of a layer 2. It is an Ethereum L1, L2 that allows users to make maker real-world yields on a cheaper to use Optimism layer 2, or in my words, an excellent way to pay low gas prices as a benevolent whale moves billions of dollars from EVM to EVM. So I think the benevolent whale he's referring to there is whoever is the one that is pro Pulse Chain and is trying to add into the collateralization vault for the pmaker vault. The Paraswap bridges moves tokens from ETH into the Balancer vault and then an interaction with the maker vault from inside the Balancer protocol. So again, he's not just talking words here. He digs deep. He digs really deep. He does the research. So I'm going to provide the tweet in the description here. He provides the research. I would strongly recommend following him so you can get firsthand knowledge of this as he does these tweets. And you can also interact with him in the Telegram groups, especially with DAI. He's quite active in there in the DAI stablecoin Telegram group. So DAI stablecoin, this is what people commonly refer to as pDAI, but it's DAI stablecoin. And obviously, if you don't know, the maker vault is for DAI stablecoin. So now back into his tweet. So he's going through the transactions. He's looking at the transactions. He's providing the evidence. It's not just some kind of speculation. He's providing the evidence here. So the Balancer vault is pretty well stocked with all P tokens that can be used at collateral within the pmaker ecosystem. From its transactions, it is constantly interacting with the pmaker vaults. So again, the Balancer token vault is stocked with all P tokens that can be used at collateral with the pmaker ecosystem. From its transactions, it's constantly interacting with the pmaker vaults. That's amazing. Below is a perfect example. The F2C8 wallet is the Balancer vault and uses a Uniswap V3 LP to transfer some PUSDT for PWBTC before interaction. This is an example of a transaction where, well, USDT on Pulse Chain, stablecoin, USDT stablecoin on Pulse Chain was transferred for Wraps Bitcoin on Pulse Chain. So this is the evidence here that he's providing. And he's just connecting dots here. So this is all still speculation. Again, take this all with a grain of salt. But this is what's actually really gassing up the community. So the Uniswap V3 pool is here. We've pressed send a little early. I'll add more here shortly. Moving back to the Blast Bridge, this is the transaction I've looked through. It suggests that Richard Hart is moving PUSDT across the Blast Bridge directly into the 2199 vault. So he's basically speculating that whoever's doing this is Richard Hart. And take a look at the order of events. There are multiple things happening here. Transfer the USD, the Pulse USDC across from Ethereum, then commit the Pulse USDC to the 2199 vault. I need to keep working here as I need to find the source of the funds, but a few things pop out as obvious. Will RH use USDC stablecoin on Pulse Chain, wrapped Bitcoin on Pulse Chain, USDT stablecoin on Pulse Chain to collateralize the vaults? Are we about to see a much larger transition over via balance of vaults? How is the USDC on Pulse Chain stablecoin moving from Ethereum? If there really is a direct link between the Maker and pMaker vaults, then Richard Hart can move his Ethereum into Maker and effectively use the DAI to back pDAI into the vaults in a second. The infrastructure would allow for this. It is only a matter of time. Hashtag resume the pegging. So I'm gonna go back and like all these, and I'll share out that tweet. So very interesting speculation there by Mr. NineIronCapital. So he does some amazing research for the pDAI community. And what do you guys actually think? So for a long time, my speculation and a speculation of a lot of people in the Atropa ecosystem is that is what's going to be the collateral backing. The whole web of tokens within the Atropa ecosystem is going to be backing the P stables. But the P stables aren't connected with the Maker DAO vault. That is only the pDAI. So this is where it's really interesting, the dynamics that can play out, the different kind of things that can actually happen. So could it be that Richard Hart moves all this Ethereum that is created and done and move that over to create the collateralization? We don't really know. We're just speculating at this point, but the signs are very bullish. Could this kind of news, as it starts to spread out, push pDAI to that magic 1 cent number? Because really, once we get to 1 cent, I personally expect there to be a big pullback. And then I expect potentially there might be some downside momentum in the Atropa ecosystem for a month or two. That's kind of what I'm anticipating, simply based on the past. And also that's kind of what I'm hoping. I'll be honest, I'm hoping, because I'm kind of hoping to just like chill out and stop watching things and like all this noise on Twitter. It's a really interesting dynamic actually, because everything that's happened with eHEX, I mean, what a turn of events. What a turn of events. I won't go into too much detail about that, but I'll just give what my perspective is. I didn't see Richard Hart say anything that nobody knew. He just said things as they were. The market is the people that reacted, and everybody's pointing the finger at Richard for fudding it. He didn't fud it. He just called it as it is. It's like, you know, like he just said what it was. And my favorite comment, the God mode goat comment, was when he said something along the lines of bigger dogs. If you think I'm going to stop telling the truth, you've got something coming. Like bigger dogs than you are trying, and they're not stopping me. So I was like, yes, get him, big dog, get him. Oh, so I loved that. I absolutely loved that. So, you know, he didn't do anything that like warranted this kind of a move. Maybe he was just trying to encourage people to move their eHEX over to Pulse Chain. Like he didn't tell anybody to sell. Like this capitulation was ridiculous. But then we saw that Maria started buying up the Atropa dev. So I'm looking at this going, wow, this might be like some magic moment that nobody anticipated that might actually end up being like this incredibly beneficial thing for the whole ecosystem. What if eHEX ends up getting plugged into the Atropa ecosystem and it just becomes another token in the web? What if the whole Atropa ecosystem starts carrying it up? Everybody's like going crazy, going absolutely crazy. And it's a bit of a shame. I'm just looking at it going, well, you know, it is what it is. I don't want eHEX to die. I'm hoping that this is not going to destroy the Atropa ecosystem. I don't think it will. I don't fully know what's going to happen in the future, but it's a very, very interesting time. And I'm looking at it going, I have the faith that it's going to work out. There's something in my heart that's telling me everything is going to be okay. And I'm just going to stick with that, because at this point in time, I'm here in the Pulse Chain ecosystem. I've followed faithfully the flow of life, and it hasn't led me astray. everything in my life gets increasingly better and better and better. So I have that strong faith in where I am and the position that the universe has put me in. And I have no doubt that whatever's happening, I think nobody's expected this, nobody's anticipated this, but I actually think things are working out better than maybe what even people were expecting. I think that this could be the ultimately best situation that could ever happen. If it gets connected to the Atropa ecosystem, it's going to open up the Hex Maxi's eyes to the Atropa ecosystem, to this magic of the Pulse Chain ecosystem that's actually happening on Pulse Chain. And people are actually going to start to appreciate the fact that this liquidity bonding is probably going to start carrying up eHEX. It can be carried by the Atropa ecosystem. So there's been a big pullback. Definitely interesting times ahead. So with that, I do have a little reading here because there's a lot of negativity out there. And it's really interesting because, I'm sort of really questioning my position in the community. I really want to be this positive force in the community, but I know in my heart, it doesn't matter how much positivity I put out there. People are inside of their mind worlds. So everybody has just got their own preconceptions about life, and you're living according to the scripting of your mind. So it doesn't matter how much positivity that comes out of anyone. People are going to respond to the conditions based on their own self-centered desires and their own self-centered mind world. This is just how it is. So I know it doesn't matter how much good energy I put out there. It's really falling on deaf ears for a lot of the case, but I'm still going to keep doing it because I know that there's people out there that do appreciate it, but it definitely feels like people actually need to clear the negativity from their mind. That's essentially what I'm saying. You can't allow that positivity to flow through you if you have a wall of negativity. It's really just that simple. So you have to remove that wall of negativity. So this again is how to win friends and influence people. And this is basically, funnily enough, I wanted to pick this one because it's called Don't Kick Over the Beehive. So I think this is quite topical for what's happening at the minute. Benjamin Franklin, tactless in his youth, became so diplomatic, so adroit at handling people that he was made American ambassador to France. The secret of his success? He said, I will speak ill of no man and speak all the good I know of everybody. Any fool can criticize, condemn, and complain. And most fools do. But it takes character and self-control to be understanding and forgiving. So while everybody here is crucifying each other, crucifying this community or that community, Richard Hart or Somi or whatever, everybody's crucifying each other. It's very, very, very easy to criticize and complain and condemn. It's so easy, actually. It takes real character. I got called a beta. I got called a beta male. And you know what? Fine, I'm a beta male. I'm a feminine male. And you know what? I don't give a shit. That's exactly what I am. And I'm proud to be. I'm proud to be a positive force in this world. And I'm going to continue being a positive force in this world. I'm going to die being a positive force in this world because I'm sick of the negativity in the world. I'm absolutely sick of it. I'm disgusted with crypto Twitter. I'm disgusted with the human mind. But there's no point being disgusted. There's no point being upset because I understand why it is the way that it is. And all I can do is work towards eliminating my own mind and being a force of good in the world that attracts more good in the world, that it ends up being a chain reaction. So once the spirit of God flows through the world, then the world becomes one. So that's what I'll do till the day that I die, till my dying breath. So thank you very much, everybody. Hope you have a good time and take care.